So we had to pick a region in the global south. So I thought of Tito Puente, because I really like Tito Puente. So I decided to look up what type of music he plays. And I find it's mambo. So I look up where mambo comes from. Cuba. Great! Until I find out Rod gets Cuba. But I remembered. Tito Puente. He's Puerto Rican. The story of Puerto Rico starts 100 million years ago, when underwater volcanic activity caused the creation of islands. As plants grew and life developed, the islands became a beautiful area, which we now call the Caribbean. The first inhabitants of the land were the Taínos, Arawak. They called the island Boricua, which is what many Puerto Ricans will refer to their home as to this day. In 1492, Columbus found the Caribbean and had his first encounter with the Taínos. He described them as being very friendly. The Spanish soon took over and forced many of the indigenous people into slavery. The Spanish eventually brought over enslaved people from Africa and replaced the Taínos slaves. The following few centuries are riddled with nations like the Netherlands, England, and France having their hand at attempting to rule the island of Boricua. In 1898, the U.S. won the Spanish-American War and acquired Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines. There are many styles that derive from Puerto Rico, but I will cover what I have found to be the 5 most prevalent: Bomba, Musica, Jíbaro, Danza, Plena, and Reggaeton. Puerto Rican instruments include Bomba drums, which were barrels that the Spanish used to transport liquor, with goat skin attached as the drum head. Cuat, 2 wooden sticks used to hit the side of the barrel.
The sticks are actually the cuat.
Maracas, originated from the Taínos natives of Puerto Rico. They would take the fruits from a Jíbaro tree and fill them with tiny pebbles and attach a handle. Cuatro, Puerto Rican guitar with 10 strings. The cuatro is Puerto Rico's national instrument. Guiro, or guitarra, also an invention of the Taínos, in which they took gourds or animal bones and carved little lines along the side, and then they would take a wooden stick and scrape it against the side to make it sound. Some other instruments that are common in Puerto Rico but didn't originate there include guitar, bongo, pandero or pandereta, and accordion. We'll come back to that.
So you're doing pa, pa, just like clave.
One of the most important genres in Puerto Rico is also the oldest, bomba. Bomba is heavily influenced by the enslaved African people who made the drums. Influences also came from the indigenous Taínos people that brought forth the maracas and the cuat. Out of the many rhythms used in bomba, there are 6 main ones: Cuembe, Seis Corrido, Corvé, Holandé, Yube, and Sique. The rhythms used to be attached to certain areas of Puerto Rico. But now you can hear any of the rhythms all across the island. Just as important as the music is the dancing that comes with it. A single dancer will come out of the audience, bow to the main drum, or requinto, and then they are off. They begin in a series of sporadic yet graceful moves. The head drummer has to watch them intently, creating sounds that correspond with the dance moves. Oftentimes, a dancer will act with the intention of throwing the head drummer off. All the while, the buleador keeps the rhythm. You can have as many buleadors as you want, but once the dancer knows who the main drum is, they go straight to them, and they begin to have a conversation. On top of that, everybody is singing songs, led by the main vocalist. This is the way of bomba. While bomba would have been most common near the coasts, moving inward, you would begin to see many more farmers working plantations. These people are called Jíbaros.
The word Jíbaro is more like country boy.
The Jíbaros created music using bongos, güiros, cuatro, and guitar.
Puerto Rico, if you want to know from the culture for the cuatro music, is Musica, Jíbaro.
I attended the National Cuatro Fest in Chicago in November, so that's what a lot of these videos are from. There I ran into Milwaukee area cowbell maker and bomba player Ulysses Santiago, who was nice enough to let me swing by his place to ask him a few questions. There are many subgenres in Musica Jíbara, like seis, which is characterized by its 10-line form poetry with lyrical content about political events of the time. Seis got its name because of the 6 couples of dancers that would perform with the music. Danza, a ballroom dance, similar to a waltz, that originated in the mid-19th century. Danzas were mainly performed in salons of rich plantation and landowners, called hacendados. The ballrooms started out dancing to European music until Manuel G. Tavares began composing new songs, implementing Afro-Caribbean syncopation. Tavares was penned the father of danza. His most famous student, Juan Morel Campos, is thought to have composed the most beautiful and pristine danzas. The music for Puerto Rico's national anthem, La Borinqueña, is a danza that was composed in the 1860s, before lyrics were added in the 1950s.
But I know 100% that our culture music is Musica, Jíbaro, Bomba, y Plena.
Plena. Similar to Bomba in rhythm, but younger in age, Plena's main element is a hand drum, the pandero.
How those drums came is because it was easy to, to carry, and it's not a big drum, you're not running with that, and in the king fields, when they play and they time to play, it was easy to throw out in the field, and they come and find later.
Improvisando encima de esa base rítmica. Y por supuesto no se puede olvidar el güiro, que es la aportación taína a la plena.
It's like you have to have the güiro and the 3 drums, and you got to have the singer,
Yeah.
Ahí está. Gracias.
Harmonic accompaniment was commonly provided by guitars or accordions. Now fast forward a few decades to the 80s. You get Puerto Rican immigrants learning how to make rap in the US who bring it back to Puerto Rico, and boom, reggaeton. So my video doesn't get taken down, I had to make an example. This is how you make a reggaeton song. First you're going to want to add the clave, repeat the first half of it, add snare, add your kick drum, some chords, and some other stuff, and then write some lyrics in Spanish.
Yo no soy chupacabra, yo no soy el pasado.
Reggaeton has grown to be one of the most popular genres in the whole world. Bad Bunny, a Puerto Rican reggaeton artist, has been the most streamed artist on Spotify for the past 3 years.
It doesn't matter again what ethnicity you're from, what religion you believe in. The basic of all of it is love. We all have to love and respect each other. And the only true way to really love and respect each other is to learn about each other.
That small little frog, that's what it is. It's a small little frog that do that coqui, do like that little animal, that stays in Puerto Rico. They say if it come out of Puerto Rico, it dies. So you don't hear no coquis nowhere else. It's just in Puerto Rico.
Hit it.
Dynamic, cultural, educational, impactful programs for our community.
Thank you.